just scream at random times without warning.
It should have been a little bit nonchalant.
The stakes have been made. Let's get out of here.
Why couldn't I put a little bit of an effort, right?
I was going to say it myself.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our 16th episode
of Sorry Amma, I married a Kiwi.
Classic. We're recording some social media video with our phones, which we feel is very technological. We're just kind of adding complexity at this stage.
It is very intimidating, though. It's not like you don't feel like you're just talking to the void, just the two of us just talking away. But when there's a camera, you feel like there's somebody here.
I know. Usually when we record, like, my pants can be sagging down. I just have my feet up. I'm eating a cookie. There's crumbs all over me. Can't do that anymore.
Yeah, you have to be presentable. That must be hard.
It is. Goes against my natural instincts. Especially in the comfort of my own home. But also, then I think next time we're going to try filming the whole thing.
Yeah.
So we can put those up on YouTube, which would be nice.
Sounds
because good. There's some confusion on whether Sri Lankans can access Spotify. Please comment and advise if you have any information on this.
Or if you're somebody who's listening from Sri Lanka and you're listening through Spotify, please let us know. So all the complexities out of the way.
Yes.
Let's get back to the story, shall we?
All right, of course. The grand narrative. So, Emasha, what happened after that fiery proposal? Yes. What happened after that fiery proposal that you described to us last time?
So, where were we finally? I was telling about how...
So, you had just said goodbye and the proposal person had left. You'd gone upstairs. There'd been a lot of emotions. You'd called and told me this back in New Zealand when I was stuck in a clinical trial. And I was kind of, had the COVID and all the drugs in my system. I was on the floor of a shower. And
all the excuses.
I'm like, please don't say yes to this guy. I really like you.
Aw.
Yeah.
I didn't say yes to the guy. And
what a relief.
I know.
That would have been a twist and a half.
It's like, and a year later, we're just here recording a podcast, even though we're not married. That would have been weird.
It would have been a bit weird.
I think there's a tiny bit left on this proposal. Remember you said the tail of the proposal?
The tail of the proposal.
Yeah. So let me finish the tail of the proposal.
Please tell us the tail of the tail.
So once all of the conversations done with my two brothers, who were very kindly understanding, but were not that helpful at that point of time, they were like, you need to be calm about this. You need to be a little bit more... just take a chill pill. You have to approach this strategically. No one is going to just jump up and down and be like, oh my God, you found somebody. Let's just organize a wedding, That's not going to happen. If that somebody is not a Sri Lankan, just adds a lot of complexities in there. So what technically happened is that I just said, okay, cool, let's just leave it there. And I just completely sort of avoided talking about that topic with Amma. And I went back.
The weather's great today, isn't it?
Man, such an awkward time. I think that was the time I kind of was like calling and messaging Sam because I was like feeling very betrayed and like very upset. And I was like, I just can't do 3 months here. I just have to get out of here. Book me a ticket to come back to.
And Amasha's friend Gowrie was obviously back in New Zealand with me, and we were discussing, so obviously we were worried about your mental state because it was such a lot of, pressure to be under in that situation. But all the flights were booked out because you hadn't booked further than... I'm trying to think now, because you went there without a return flight, right?
No, I went there with the return flight because I supposed to come here for some sort of, I think probably for something to do with my visa at the time. Because
you were still wanting to secure the permanent residency.
Yeah, so I was like, in according to New Zealand visa systems, you have to be in the country for a certain amount of time if you want to have your permanent residency not taken away from you, sort of thing. So I was under residency at the time, so I wanted to complete my permanent residency because I might want to come back here for a while or something in the future, even though I was like, I might not come here to live. I don't know. The future is so uncertain. So because
A lot of uncertainty.
yeah, like because of all these uncertainties, I did not want to play with my permanent residency status, which I have already secured, which is silly, I felt. So
Just a reminder that Sam did absolutely nothing for Emasha's residency status in New Zealand. No help
That's
whatsoever.
so funny. That's the thing. Like, we have to keep telling people that. Like, recently I was having a chat with my cousin. He asked me, he's like, oh, marrying that Sudha didn't get you the citizenship? I'm like, dude, I got nothing for marrying
Didn't even
him.
get a residency from it.
I already had the permanent residency and everything by the time I got married to him, or like actually getting to know him at all. And I think we talked about like putting all those posts that kind of like Sam posted around the wedding when people started commenting. It's like, oh, I'm married and stood there to get the visa. And I'm like, oh God, okay. That was not the case.
So point being, the plan had been for you to return back in February.
Yes.
And me and Gary were trying to find a way to fly you back sooner than that.
Sooner than my original return flight.
Also, I was a student at the time. I didn't have a load of funds in my account. I think I could probably count the dollars that were there. So I was kind of like, this might take all the money I have, but like we need to fly. We need to extradite Emasha out of Sri Lanka. But there was no flights available. The only ones that were earlier were like business class. Like there was like $5,000 or $6,000 to fly you out.
Okay.
And I'm like, maybe if I pulled my money with Gowrie, we could pull this off.
No, I think...
Which I did offer, I think.
You did, which was very sweet of you to offer like the last penny you have in your bank account.
Welcome back to your impoverished boyfriend.
I think what happened was like me being super panicky and like I just don't know how to survive this for another few months. Kind of made me want to like get out of there. But then the funniest thing about that was though, like, since I booked the flights through an agent in New Zealand, I could not contact them for some reason. They were not answering my WhatsApp calls. So I got Sam to call them. What happened there, Sam?
So I called the Auckland-based travel agency in the same city as me, but they couldn't understand my accent. I think they're used to only servicing like Indian or Sri Lankan clientele.
I think it must have been like Indian Sri Lankan clientele that they had. Like they could not understand Sam, the born Kiwi's accent, which was hilarious.
It was very frustrating, and like they kept handing the phone over to different people at the agency, but apparently my Kiwi accent was too thick.
Sam doesn't have a thick Kiwi accent.
I know, a lot of Kiwis think I come from England, oddly.
Oh.
Because
you have a very, you don't have a thick Kiwi accent for sure.
I was at a fish and chip shop once, and there was like this nice kind of old, woman beside me, and we talk a bit, and then after a while she's like, now tell me, what part of England are you from?
Oh.
And I'm like, oh no, I live in New Zealand, I'm Auckland born and bred. She's like, I think I know what an England accent sounds like. I did live in England. As if like, why are you trying to deceive me? I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. You must be right. I must be from England.
Oh, I forgot.
Point being, in the end, embarrassingly, I had to ask Gowrie to call the agency.
Yeah.
I'm just like, please fly my Emasha back.
So somehow or the other, Gowrie called them, but still the flights were very, very expensive. So I had to be like, take a step back and like, okay, I came here with the working contract that I'm going to be working for 3 months. And my friend who talked to the person, like the senior lawyer that I worked for, and like organized that like arrangement, I did not want to put her in a bad reputation as well, to be like, oh, she just wanted to work for 3 months and then like 2 days later she's gone. So It's not good. It's not a good look for me, not a good look for her. So considering all of that, I was like, okay, I'll work my way through this for another for the next few months and weeks, whatever. Yeah. So that was the situation there, and I went back to Colombo to go back to work, and I was with my friend at the time, so I just went back to the place that I was staying at, my friend's place, and continued working. And I think probably a week or so after, we had a back to uni function. I don't know if you remember this.
I do.
So I'm from Colombo University, Sri Lanka. So our law faculty has organized like a back to uni, like back to school kind of a similar thing for university students for our faculty. And then it was so much fun. So we went there met a lot of batchmates from back in the day, had good times, good chats, and we went for one of our like famous lunch places at the time. It was hilarious. We were just kind of thinking it was Subway. The Subway was a big deal in Sri Lanka because when I started at uni, I have never had a Subway. So there was like, oh my God, this so cool thing. Like it's just like a 10-minute walk from uni. But for uni students at the time, that was expensive. It was a university rice packet would be, I don't know, like 50 rupees. If you put to New Zealand dollars, how would I put it? Probably like not even $1, 50 rupees.
Decent.
But if you get a Subway, it's like, I don't know if it's even footlong, 1,300 or 1,500 rupees.
Oh my gosh.
Which is like...
it's more than 90.
It's definitely... Okay, my maths is not working in the brain right now. But it's probably like $10 or something. 8, 9, 10, something like that. But for a uni student, that's a lot. So if you go there, that's a celebration, and it's like such a big deal to get a Subway. So we went there, and another friend of mine, Sachin, joined us. All three of us were having lunch after this back to uni function, and I mentioned to them this shenanigan, the situation that I'm currently in. And while I was there, I got a call from Amma. She said to me, apparently this guy's parents called them back.
The proposal guy?
Yes, the proposal guy's parents called Amma and Tata back and said they're happy with the proposal, so they want to proceed to the next stage.
That's so lovely of them.
That is so
Even on your worst day, you didn't want to be there. You made such a good impression.
I know, right?
The charisma.
I was like, oh, I should have been a little bit
Should have just been
nonchalant.
burping and farting all over the place.
Or just like, I don't know.
Mistakes have been made. Let's get out of here.
Don't know, look weirdly or like have a lazy eye just limping away or just, I don't know. What could I have done?
Just scream at random times without warning.
Why couldn't I put a little bit of an effort, right?
I wasn't going to say it myself. But.
I don't know. I don't know what that was about. But I mean, I guess I was on best behavior. So he apparently liked that. So he said like he would like to proceed. So his parents...
Sam's shouting from New Zealand, don't do it, please.
So at the time while I was in this uni thing, my parents came to... So these boys from somewhere near Colombo, they came to Colombo to go to his house.
Without telling you?
Without telling me. And I'm like, oh my God, like how silly of this is this?
Because isn't it very significant, the parents going to the other house? I mean, technically...
It's not that significant. It's kind of like people can say no even at that stage. It's not like a big deal. But at the same
just that they're
time...
progressing it without telling you.
Yeah. So it's kind of like... so how proposals work is that... So first the groom's party goes to the bride's house. I think I have mentioned this before. And then the bride's party goes to the groom's house if they're okay with, like, if the first meeting goes well, then you go to the next stage, and then that's when kind of like you go from there. But the bride doesn't go to the groom's house, so it didn't really matter whether I am there or not. They could go and then have a chat. I don't know whether actually they went. Oh, honestly, when I think about it, I think they were talking about going there, that they're going, that's what's happening right now, but I don't know whether they end up going there. I was like, I don't want to know. I said no, and I don't want to know anything anymore. So that was the end of the conversation. But what the funny part was that I knew what his school was, and my friend Sachin, who was having lunch with us, he was a batch or two below us. He is from the same school. So he and I were plotting to find some dirt on him.
This poor innocent guy.
Just to get out of the situation. So Sachin and I were like, okay, so you need to find out people who are from, I think this boy is like a year above me. So it's like, we need to find some silly thing that this guy has done so I can just like use that to get out of the situation without trying to find the easier way, which is not the nicer way, I admit. It's so
Had your back
wrong
against a
of
wall.
me. I had my back against a wall. I had no other option in that. Not that I didn't have an option. I don't want to say that. There's always an option rather than putting somebody else down. But I was like,
But this wasn't.
it's easier way out, right?
This wasn't to ruin the reputation. This was just to have a reason for Amma and Tata.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm not going to go around telling anybody.
Printing
I just want
posters.
to be like, oh, you know what? He's I don't know, just something silly that would get me out of it.
Did you find any?
No,
anything?
and
Okay.
I just contacted another batchmate of mine. He was so useless as well. Sometimes these boys, man, come on.
Honestly, I mean,
How about a girl? So that didn't go really well.
so
The plan didn't work out.
turns out he's just genuinely a nice person.
He's actually a nice person, apparently.
Bugger. Okay, so didn't you also get a call from Mr. Proposal when you were working at the Supreme Court?
Did I?
You did. I'm so sorry you suppressed these memories, and now it's time that I start bringing them up. Yep, you received a short call from him, and you tried to be very polite and get out of the call
What did
as
he
quickly
say?
as
This
possible.
is so funny. I'm listening to my story through you. What did he say?
It was just like he was trying to kind of start a conversation about things, and you're like, oh, yep, yeah, okay, yeah, oh, I've got to go back to work now, and then like I think Amma said that kind of heard from his parents that you hadn't seemed very engaged on the phone, or like you'd been ducking calls.
Maybe that's why that ended. Okay.
Yeah, we were also like, obviously, me and Emasha were talking a ton at the time about what's our strategy here, because we were advised, don't make a big fuss, don't like just quit out on it, be open to it, and just, try and show that. I think our plan was that eventually you'd be like, well, you haven't found me anybody who I clicked with.
Too old
so,
now, like whatever
yeah,
it is. Fine.
my ears are all dried up. I'm a 30 something. I guess I've just got to go with a pseudo guy.
What is the word for unmarried? It's spinster. No,
Spinster.
spinster.
Crazy Catwoman is also a negative stereotype that we have.
No, I mean like back in the Victorian era, spinster, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I guess I was waiting to be called a spinster.
Yeah, which usually is just getting past 30, right, in Sri Lanka. So,
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
We also,
I think didn't we have another plan where like I marry somebody and then like
wasn't
wait
even-
for it to be awful and then just divorce the guy and then it's like now I'm a divorcee, so who cares about who I marry?
but that wasn't even like a joke. That was seriously something we were considering at the time, that like Emasha might, like, because I didn't want it to be that Emasha had to choose between me or the parents. I didn't want to have a timeline where, I got to end up with Emasha, but she had no relationship with the parents. Like, that was just not an option on the table.
That was not an option on the table.
So we literally thought that it might be that she might eventually have to be into pressure to get married in a proposal.
Yeah.
And then we would have to kind of wait that out for that to break off. And then you would be a divorcee, and then we might have it. That's like very sad that was literally the plan
One
at
of
one
the
point.
plans, yeah. Man, we're very bad people as well.
I
Like,
don't
what
think-
about the guy who I marry and then just like end up just throwing away?
Like, I don't think it's like it's the guy, but that's what we've been talking about the whole time. It's just these societal structures and pressures that push people.
I know.
And, like, we're
I'm just,
watching-
I know. I'm just joking.
I know that you know more than
people-
anybody, but we're also watching a lot of like Sri Lankan TV soaps at the moment, which like explore those same situations, right?
Yeah, we were watching a TV show that is kind of it's very sad that it's revolutionary at this point of time to have it on TV. The fact that it is revolutionary is the part that is sad, because this is about a same
It's like a TV daytime drama in Sri Lanka.
it's about a same-sex couple, two guys. Both were from like living in overseas. The one of the guys is from a very higher ranking family in mid country of Sri Lanka, and like obviously like it's like the last one of the family, the one who's supposed to take the legacy, blah blah blah. So he was brought back. He was like asked to come back to Sri Lanka to get married, and then he was so many proposals were put in front of him, so he finally agrees to this girl, and then they got married. But then the girl also had a previous relationship, and parents didn't agree to that. That's why she kind of like end up in this situation as well. But because she has had a previous relationship, she's kind of scared to bring anything up, because she's like, oh, my part is I have something fault in my part as well.
I have my own dark secret.
I also have my dark secrets, but they're not having a good family relationship. They're not being intimate or anything. So that's kind of like making her really upset, the bride. But at the same time, as I said, like because of her dark secret, she's like, I don't know, maybe that's why he's not into me. Like I don't know how to bring this up. But turns out the guy has a boyfriend all along, and he's not attracted to women whatsoever. And then this boyfriend who was living overseas comes to Sri Lanka, and then try to like because he can't stand his partner being with a woman, which is just such a
multiple people getting screwed over by the situation.
Yeah, such a bizarre place. And then finally, in the final episode, like all the families, that the two parents from the couple, and like all of them are in the same place, and then the girl is the one who finally, like when she understands the whole truth, she's the one who comes to the kind of like the acceptance like from her, and she's like, I know it's very easy to put the blame on the guy and be like, why on earth did you do that? Like, why did you put me in this position? I mean, yes, he has a fault, he shouldn't have done that, but at the same time, like I saw how hard it was for him. Mm-hmm. So he was pushed to this situation. So I don't want to put the blame onto him. And
like his character, you're someone who is educated and been overseas, and yet still felt the weight of those pressures.
Yeah, he's a very well educated gentleman. He has experience in his life. Like he has wealth of education under his belt and all that. And with all of that experience and education and maturity and everything, the family pressure was enough to push him. This is a teledrama, but at the same time, I know these kind of things still happen to the day.
So it's nice that they're portraying it finally.
Yeah, finally, and like, oh my god, because I watched this drama through the YouTube.
Emasha's been hooked on this drama. She just could not stop watching.
I just finished it within like a few days. There's like 30 episodes or something.
I was like, we can watch it together, and then you're done. You finished the show.
You're so slow sometimes.
I am.
You take.
I'm just, my single is just not quite as fast. No English subs.
What I was saying is that the comment section is like, some of them are like, oh my god, how do they put this in TV, like blah blah blah, and then some of them is like, oh my god, finally, like right about time, just to bring up these conversations. Like all these three people were entangled in the situation because of the social pressure unnecessarily. So yeah, so could have been actually easily trapped in such a situation.
But yeah, my memory is that you got a call from the guy, and that you kind of, tried to nicely conclude the call, and then I think maybe possibly dodged another call. I must have
dodged so many calls from him.
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking, yeah.
Yeah, and then, so that was all part.
He must have finally gotten the message.
I know. And then I think meanwhile, like, I was doing some shopping at like a place in Auckland where I think his sister may have worked, and I was like, this is just so bizarre, like worlds collide. Sister of my nemesis. This lovely family who didn't mean
they have no
caught
idea.
up in this whatsoever. So is that the tail end of the proposal?
I think so. And then it kind of like probably he must be a genuine guy who has self-respect at all. He would be like, okay, I don't think she's interested. He got the hint finally.
Yeah. What to do, man, what to do.
Yeah.
And do you know where Amma's head was after that? Like, do you think she had other matches in mind? Or had that been kind of, she put all her eggs into one basket, that she thought that was the strongest proposal for you?
I think she's somebody who, like, I know for a fact before a proposal come to me, even in whenever the time period, it always get filtered out through Aya and Mali first. So she just, obviously she filters out so much.
That's older brother and younger brother.
Yeah. So Amma just like only brings anything up if it's like, if she thinks that's like a very good match for me. Not I know we talked about the cast and the this and the that and the all that kind of stuff, and the fair, the tall, the airline
virtuous
industry.
daughter from the airline industry.
But she did not care for those things. She mostly like tried to figure out with, like, funnily enough, the guy who wanted me to cook and clean, the reason Amma thought he's a good match for me is that, so they somehow, I don't know how did she get to know about this guy's family, but one time they were having lunch at their place, and then he had a brother, so there were two boys in that family. So when their parents were just having lunch with my parents, these two boys were like helping out, like putting the dishes out in the table, like the sorting the dining table, and like helping the mother out with like all the kind of like the women, I'm putting air quotes, guys, by the way, women duties. So Amma thought he's like somebody who's like actually like above these gender roles and who has who's somebody who has evolved. Funnily enough, it was not the case. When I told her about this, Amma was actually, my mother was very, very flabbergasted. She's like, really? I was like, exactly. I asked him like, what are you talking? Like,
this is the guy who
asked about cooking and cleaning.
Oh, the original
person,
proposal,
like a few years back proposal. So that guy was actually like somebody who looked on the surface, helps his mother out and everything, but when it comes to the wife, apparently that's not going to be the case.
Mama's boy.
Yeah, I don't know. So
Emasha and I've also talked about, I feel like the mama's boy thing is different between Sri Lanka and New Zealand. Like, I think we kind of say jokingly a mama's boy of they're like, a guy has a close relationship with his mother, and usually that's kind of like, I think like a positive thing. Like, it's someone who like is quite close with his mother and looks after her and is in
you
touch
talk to any Sri Lankan girl or an Asian girl, mostly they would be like, hell no, that's not a positive.
Yeah. Mother's boy in Sri Lanka is like a guy who is, I mean, I think the stereotype is like unhealthily still attached to the mother and will always put the mother before the wife, right?
Yeah. Honestly, like this gender roles, like how they are still to the date prevalent, I put the blame to the mothers. I recently watched a short story where it just kind of like highlights those like little bits, how those things like influence child's, like how they behave when they're adults. So like it's like all the kids were playing and then there's only one girl and it's like girl's mother's like, come help me serve the food for the boys. Like those kind of simple things kind of like put on your brain for the rest of your lives. And then when you're older, like the men were not made to understand like like why can't you serve yourself food? So mothers would be cleaning the clothes until they get married and then leave the house, like cook for them, like serve for them, like serve the food on the plate and then like bring it to them and they make the tea and like, you know, like they're just technically taking care of them like kids. And then obviously once you married, when you get the woman married into the family, the woman's supposed to take over and then taking care of this man's child, which is just frustrating. So that's why the mama's boy part. And also it is interestingly, like in social media, even now I see some memes and or like those like conversational posts and stuff. It's like, who's the priority, mother or the wife? Like pick and choose on whatever in scenario, like is it the mother or the wife? And like, oh, definitely the mother comes first. Like most of the guys, that's kind of like the idea. I mean, they are very different, two different women playing very different roles in your life. So why
very different.
Why would you think that's even okay to compare them and then to see who the priority is? It just baffles me to the date.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's the mama's boy situation. Oh my God, I would never marry a mama's boy.
Love my mum, but I'm not that kind of a mum's boy.
I mean, I'm saying like
perfect balance. Like those breakfast cereals.
Perfect balance. Oh dear.
So that was the tail end of the proposal.
Yes, the proposal is done.
I feel like that like sounded short and sweet, but let it be known that in real life it was not short and sweet. I felt like I was just like trapped in like some kind of, I don't know, Victorian, you know, novel like Pride and Prejudice or something. And
oh, Bridgerton. The recent ages, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So sorry we went a little bit too deep today.
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that was cathartic.
Alrighty. See you guys next week then.
See you next week, and then we'll be discussing what happened next in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
The plot thickens.
Does it?
It does.
I don't think it thickens out like more than that.
I mean, well, it wasn't.
Well, come back to find out.
Come back and find out.
Alrighty, have a good week, guys.
Bye.
See ya. Bye-bye.